Hi everyone, Chris Natzke here with Black Belt Leadership Speaking and Coaching with your Mind of a Champion tip of the week. Today I want to talk about a topic that I think oftentimes really prevents us from really achieving the most we can in our lives and in our careers. And it's all self-induced. It's not anything that's really an obstacle on the outside. It's something we create inside ourselves. And that is failing to take action because we're afraid of making a mistake. Every 4 months within my martial arts organization, I get a new group of students that are getting ready to test for their black belt. And so, they train for anywhere from 3 to 5 years in advance of their black belt test. But in the final 16 weeks, they've got a really intensive program that gets them ready. And the last 8 weeks of that, I get them as my direct students every Saturday morning. And in fact, this coming Saturday, I'm going to be starting with a new group of students. And almost invariably what will happen is we start our training and I'll notice them making mistakes and errors and slowing up and not working at full speed. And I think that oftentimes they're just really nervous, working with me for the first time, because many of them are students of my students. Not that I'm that intimidating of a guy, but anyway, they get a little nervous. And so what I notice is that it doesn't have anything to do with their ability. It has everything to do about that filter of this fear of making a mistake and looking bad. And what I always do is I share with them a story that I want to share with you now that was literally life-changing for me. It's back in 1981, and I just started playing football at Northwestern University. In fact, it's fall camp, and coming into any kind of a collegiate football program as a freshman can be a little bit daunting. Not only are you among some great athletes and things are moving at a much faster speed, but you're also dealing with a lot of the mental part of the game and the things that you need to be able to adjust to on the fly. And I played in college inside linebacker, so I wasn't only in charge of getting myself ready each play, but I was also responsible for setting the defensive front. And what that means is all the defensive linemen who were playing in front of me, I had to do certain calls to get them into position to make the plays based on what the offense came out doing. And I remember it was probably in the middle of fall camp, and I'm feeling tired, I'm beat up physically, emotionally I'm getting drained, and I'm just trying to fight through, and I'm having a really bad day doing the defensive calls that day. In fact, the offense comes up and I totally screw it up. And I'm telling them to go in the wrong direction. But the reason I screwed up wasn't necessarily because I didn't know what was happening, was because I was afraid of making a mistake. And invariably what happened is they were out of position, I was out of position, I missed the tackle, and of course my coach, Coach Mike Church, let me know that I'd made a mistake. And so I put my head down and I was just, really getting down on myself. And that's when he came up to me and he said to me these words that I think about all the time. He said, "Natzke, if you're gonna make a mistake, at least make it full speed. If you're gonna make a mistake, make it full speed." And that's something I always share with my students. I would much rather have a martial arts student in front of me that is working at 100% and making an error versus someone that's holding back. And as a result of that, they're not working at their top capacity. And it got me thinking, how often do we do that in our own lives? How often are we holding back, having the conversations we need to have, taking the risks that we need to, embarking on a new business venture or a new relationship or whatever it is, because we're afraid of making a mistake? So that's my challenge for you this week, my friends. And I'm going to be re-challenging myself on this, is when we have times in our lives when we're afraid of making that mistake, is go for it. I want you to think about the times in your life that you're probably the most proud of are the times in your life when you had obstacles and you moved through them anyway and you came out on the other side. So this week, what I want you to do is think about how you can move into those challenges, into those difficulties. And even if you do make a mistake, you make it full speed. And one more thing I want to share with you today. I'm so honored that this weekend, June 17th and 18th, I'm going to be part of a group of amazing coaches and speakers in something called the Leader of Impact event. And it's something you can tap in online on June 17th and 18th. And I'm going to leave the link in the comments below. But please join us for this. You're going to be, I can guarantee you're going to have some great words of wisdom that are going to be imparted, things that can really help impact your life and your business. So anyway, this has been Chris Natzke with Black Belt Leadership Speaking and Coaching. And this week, This week, if you're going to make a mistake, make it full speed. We'll see you next time.